Hello and welcome back to another video on Unpacked Technologies. In this video, I'll be showing you how to create a bootable USB installer for Linux. I'll be using both Windows and macOS to show you how to do it so that you can see how to do it for the operating system of your choosing. So, let's get straight into it. Okay, so we'll start off on macOS, then I'll move to Windows. So first of all, you're going to need to get a download of the Linux distribution of your choice and also a program called Etcher. So to do this, go to your web browser and then first type in Etcher and then click enter. You can choose the first one, which should be balena.io, Balena Etcher it says. And then you'll see a page something similar to this. So we'll just let it load. And then you'll see a green button down here that says download for macOS. So we'll just click that and allow downloads. And then it will start to download the file. So I'll just wait for this to finish. Okay, so the download has now completed. So now we'll also need the Linux distribution of your choice. So you can search whatever it's called. Some people may use Ubuntu, but in my case I'm going to use Zorin OS. So I'll just search that here. And then I'll click zorinos.com in Google. And then I'll see a site like this, and then I'll just download the file. Now in this case I've already got Zorin OS downloaded, but for you, you'll need to download whichever Linux distribution you want to use. So once you've done that, we can quit out of Safari. And now go to your downloads folder and click on balenaetcher.dmg. It will verify. And then it will open a little window, something similar to this. So you'll just need to drag Etcher into the applications folder like you do with every other app, and it will start to copy. Now once you hear that copying sound, that means it's finished. So we can close out of this and we can eject the Etcher installer. Now we'll go to Finder, Applications, and double click on Balena Etcher. We'll open it. And then you'll see a window similar to this. So you'll need to now select the Linux distribution you want to use. So click Flash from File, and then go to your Downloads folder or wherever it's located, and then double click on your .iso file. So I'll click on that. Now you'll need to select what USB drive you want it to copy to. So now's the time to insert your USB drive. So I'll do that now. Be aware that this will erase all data on your USB drive. So you'll need to make sure you have a backup. And also, when you put Linux on a USB drive, from my experience, it sometimes can be hard to get the USB back into a usable state for macOS or Windows. So maybe use a USB that you're not going to want to use again, just in case it damages it or something similar. So the USB drive is just mounted, so we'll click Select Target, and then we'll click on my USB drive. Now we can click Flash, and it will start the flashing process. You may need to enter your administrator password to allow it to create the USB installer, so I'll do that now, then click OK. And then you'll need to allow it to access files on a removable volume, and then it will start the flashing process. So there's a little estimated time remaining time down here, so that gives you a pretty accurate idea of how long it's going to take. For me, it's looking like about 4 to 6 minutes. So, and then it will verify the file as well. So once it completes, you'll have a working copy of a bootable installer for your Linux distribution, and it's ready for installation on whichever computer you would like to do it on. Now let's move on to Windows and have a look at how it's done. Okay, so now I'm going to go through the steps on how to create a bootable USB installer for Linux on Windows. So first of all, you'll need to get Etcher and also the Linux distribution of your choice. So go to your web browser. In this case, I'm going to use Chrome. And then type in Etcher. And then click on the first option, which says Balena.io. And then we'll let the page load. So then you'll need to click download for Windows x86, which is the green button. And then once it completes downloading, you'll see the file downloaded here. So now you can click the .exe file to set it up. We'll wait for it to load. And now you'll need to click I agree when the window pops up. It will install Etcher. And now we've got the little Etcher window popped up in the taskbar, so we'll just open it. And now we've got the Etcher window open. Now, before we flash the USB, we'll need to get the Linux distribution of your choice. Now, for me, I'm going to use Zorn OS today, so I'll type that into Google. However, you can choose whichever one you want. So I think the most popular one is Ubuntu, so you might be wanting to use this. But I'm going to use Zorn OS, so I'll go download, and then I'll choose the version I want. Now, I also already have this downloaded for the sake of this video. So I'll go in, once you've downloaded your Linux distribution, you can close off your web browser. And now you can click Flash from File. Go to the Downloads folder or wherever your file is located. And then double click on the ISO image for your Linux distribution. So now that we've got the ISO file in Etcher, you're going to need to grab a USB drive and plug it into the computer. So I'll do that now. You'll hear the little sound. But be aware that this will erase all the files on the disk, and it could potentially put the USB into an unusable state even after resetting it, because Linux puts a strange file system on it that can sometimes be hard to recover from my experience. So make sure you've got a backup of all the things on the USB drive, and I'd also recommend using a USB that you don't plan to use again, just in case you can't get it back into a usable state. So now that you've got the USB drive plugged in, we can click Select Target, and then I'm going to choose my USB drive, and then click Select. So now we can click Flash, and it will start the flashing process. So it might ask for administrator privileges. Now I know you can't see this because the screen recorder blanks it out, but it'll say, do you want to allow Windows Command Processor to make changes to your device? Just click yes to allow it. And now the flashing process will begin. So it will give you a little estimated time remaining timestamp down the bottom, and you can also see the percentage of how much is done. So that will give you a pretty accurate idea about how long it's going to take. So once it completes flashing, it will verify it, and then the USB will be created. So once this process finishes, then you'll have a working bootable Linux USB drive that you can put into whichever computer you would like to install Linux on. So that's it on how to create a bootable USB installer for Linux. Thanks for watching this video on Unpacked Technologies. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.